And it got to the point where it was like this dude was so unorganized on how everything was going. I was just like, yo, how you gonna be? You can't be late for your own party. Your party started at 9, homie. You gotta go. So I put him in a cab with a bunch of stuff, and then I stayed in the cousin house, and I kept stealing chicken and fish out the out the containers every time he went back into the kitchen to cook more French fries.
wrong with you?
Right, the shit was good,
A lot.
BZ, and I didn't want to pay for it. Well, I got to pay from helping. I don't
Oh
want to
my
pay for it,
God. Let me tell you
right?
something. When the apocalypse comes,
What?
they gonna find your ass because
What?
you gonna be in the local Kansas Fried or some shit trying to stock up on the food. They gonna get you. They gonna find
Real
your
fast.
yes,
Real
Shut up,
fast.
man.
Real fast. They ain't even gonna have to look hard.
yes. Oh, Kenyon, where is the nearest chicken spot to here?
All
And
right,
is the
let's get
chicken
it.
some of it cooked? Because he in there eating it. He ain't just taking it for tomorrow. He ain't stocking up. If some of it's cooked, he's eating it. Is that grease hot? Because he will chef that shit. Your family gonna be like, where did he go? He was supposed to come back with the chicken.
Nah, he's scared. He don't know how long it's gonna last. He got to eat it today.
Right? He gotta get his in before he get back. They might be back.
Shit, that
You
was
ready,
good.
Kay?
Yeah, man.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so ready? One, two, three. What's going on, family? It's your boy Ian Christie alongside.
No, no.
What's going on, family? It's your boy Ian Christie.
And your main man, Kenyon Harris.
That's what you wanted. You wanted to wait for that, just for me not to say alongside. Whatever.
Truthfully, I didn't know alongside was going to be part of it. That's why I said no because you threw me off. When you said that, I was, what is? Where did that new one come from? I was lost.
Nah, that's what it's always been. Whatever, man. Anyway,
Has
listen, family. We got a
it?
guest today. We got guests. Ignore Canyon. Don't pay attention to him.
The hater.
We got a guest today, man. I told y'all
Yeah,
that we was gonna get one of the OGs of the child raising game to come
yeah,
hang out with us.
yeah,
And
for sure.
Kenny reached out, definitely brought her in. So Kenny, you already know this is your
Yeah, man.
homegirl, man. You got to introduce her.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, family, I need you to understand who this is right now, okay? This is our main woman, BC Rugged. This is a woman, before I really get into it, one of the strongest women I've ever met in my life and had the pleasure to work with, okay? You want to talk about book smart, street smart, every other kind of smart you can possibly think of. She got it. She's a loving mother, amazing, amazing wife, and has just been an absolute great friend to me for years. And I still always think back and thank her still to this day. Um, BC Ruckett, ladies and gentlemen.
BC.
Oh, thank you very much, Kenyon.
Yes.
Seriously, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate your friendship. I do. I like you said, OG for sure. I've been here for a minute. Shit, before cell phones. You know what I mean? When we had white pages, yellow pages, and you had a watch with hands on it. I've been here for a minute, and it is rare that you come across real people. You know what I mean? You come across a lot of people. I know a lot of people. I'm sure you all know a lot of people, but it is rare that you come across real people. And when you do, and you're able to, make a connection, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It reminds you that everything ain't bad. Like there's enough bad, but everything ain't bad. And that's real. And so I appreciate y'all. I appreciate what y'all trying to do. Lord knows we need way more positive avenues than there are out there today. So much so that we got millionaire brothers beefing like they in the cafeteria, having snap contests. Like, where's the
Yep.
value? Where's the value? You know what I mean? So I appreciate what y'all doing. I appreciate the value y'all adding to the culture. You only need to reach one other person.
For
There's
sure.
8 billion people. If each person only reached one other person, you got change.
Yeah.
Hard.
See, man, we should end the show right there. That's it.
Yeah, bro, I'm
I
done.
think I'm
I'm good.
done.
You know what I'm
That's it.
saying?
That's,
But
that's it. Cut. You know what I'm saying? Send the end of the recording. End it. Let's go. But um, BC, man, we really appreciate you. We were talking about a support system in our previous episode, and ain't nothing more supportive than your mother. Your mother's your first and foremost ride or die, and I definitely know you definitely a ride or die for your kids.
I sure am, and with that, can tell you, I'm not one of those people who believes ride or die is that I put up with anything or that I'm a pushover or anything they want they can have. Not at all. You know what I
that's right.
mean? Not at all. I
Right.
don't see any value in that. Those who do it, that's your business. Personally, my opinion is I don't see value in that. Not knowing what our children are going to be left to face on so many different fronts. So, I love my children very much and I love them for who they are. I don't attempt to make them any kind of reflection of me.
Mm,
And each one of them is incredibly different. And their value systems are different. There are times where I'm like, I don't know where I got this one from because they think differently than I do. But for me, as a parent, I think that that's what your job is, to create individuals who have individual minds and are not afraid to use it.
yeah,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
Especially if you got daughters. Like today, if you got daughters, you want her to be a free thinker
Yeah.
and critical thinker. If I do this today, what's happening on day 6?
yeah. I agree. I
You know?
agree. A lot of people forget that you're not raising a kid; you're raising an adult. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
So
right, right.
you gotta make
And
them learn how to think on their own.
yep.
I agree.
And you
Yeah.
got people who will say, "Oh, wait, now you're 19 now." Like they went to bed 18 and woke up 19 and somehow got a bag of jewels, dropped in their head. It doesn't
Yep.
work like that. Like the tooth fairy don't come back and bring you smarts.
Nope.
You've got to instill value in your children with every little tiny thing. Consequence. What does that mean? And that has to come with love. It ain't about, and for me and for my husband, it ain't about corporal punishment.
Yeah.
It ain't about that. For us, that's plantation punishment, and
Yeah.
I don't want to perpetuate that in my home. I don't believe that the brain learns anything from that's positive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I second that. I agree. I think one of the things too that stuck out to me, especially in that, it's like, with whippings and beatings, a lot of times they didn't come with lessons,
Nah,
not real ones. They came with fear. And then when you look back and you see how the person grows up, they're afraid to do anything.
that it's
They
like it's
second guess.
stifled. It's meant as a tool of control.
Yeah.
And there was a time when I would debate folks on social media about stuff like this. I've since learned not to do that. But but there was a time when I would say constantly, if that method worked, if it was truly effective, you'd only need one.
yep.
Yep.
That's
If
true.
you got any beaten after number one told you that number one wasn't effective. Period.
Yeah,
It's true.
And when you consider what you're attempting, I'm gonna harm your body because you did something. Now,
hmm
don't get me wrong. I ain't gonna sit here and act like I'm Mother Teresa and I've never put my hands on someone else for a myriad of reasons, right, wrong, and indifferent. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about we're looking to raise these people
hmm
to
Yeah.
have a value system. If all your value is tied to punishment,
yep,
you're teaching your kids to do time.
yep.
Yep.
And I
There
mean,
you go.
off of that note, I mean, what does discipline look like in your house? What would you like? How do you hold like restrictions, like with the restrictions that are placed on parents nowadays? Like you scream at your kid too hard, and all of a sudden the neighbors are calling the police on you, things like that. Like, what
So
does discipline look like?
I won't say that that's not a consideration. I won't sit here and say like, oh, would I not be concerned that if I raised my voice at my kids and my neighbor heard, they would call the police? They had called them. That's their job. You know what I mean? But if I got something to say to my kids, I'm gonna say it. Do we have rules? We have boundaries in here. You feel like those are restrictive or too restrictive for you, then I would suggest you come back to us with your living arrangements because it's not gonna be here.
Mm,
Our home is one where our children have a voice. Is that voice equal to ours? Of course not. That's nuts. But it will be considered. And we don't see ourselves as people who are too big to be told that we're doing something in a manner that's not good for our children. We don't use that. Oh, don't be disrespectful. Disrespect can't be just because they're saying something you don't want to hear.
Yeah,
Facts.
You might need to hear that.
I love
So
Facts.
to answer your question, discipline in our home is built around respect for the boundaries we've created. You cross those gun lines, and yeah, there's gonna be a consequence. My kids, that the ones that are still at home, are still teens. You got that cell phone that you don't pay for. You're gonna have to give that up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not like off the rip. Oh, you didn't wash the dishes today, so boom, give me your phone. No, that's after. You didn't do this right today. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay, don't let it happen again. Oh, you know what? You didn't do this again a week later. Oh, okay, it comes with some conversation. It comes with a whole lot of tolerance before it's like, all right, look, put the phone there, and you'll see the phone again. If this is the first time on this, 2 weeks later.
Mm.
If this is the same issue and it's come up again, I don't care how much longer away from that, you're gonna see that phone in a month.
Mm.
Hmm.
And you know what? You might not see that phone again for 2 months if we have to have this, we have to revisit this, because clearly this consequence ain't paying for this. So maybe you losing the phone and another privilege.
Mm.
Like, don't try to leave this house because you ain't got no phone, so we can't get in touch with you. So you're gonna be in here.
Yeah, I do that.
Ah,
I do that.
Like, and it's micro discipline too. Like, there's a certain time at night where your cell phone needs to be off and you need to leave it, on the table there. You don't need it at night. You going to sleep. You don't need that phone.
That's right.
We got all kind of other devices for you to set alarms and what have you. We need for you to get in the mindset that it's okay to put it down, that it's
yeah,
okay to turn it off, that you
That's
don't
right.
have to keep checking because you need to go to bed, because you need to get up at a certain time. Things like that. Like, does your bed need to be made before you leave? Yeah. I think especially when you're co-parenting,
Mm-hmm.
you have to consider, what does discipline mean to that other person, and
hmm,
you really have to have that conversation, because I'm sure you all have lived as you have children where you expect to exact a certain discipline, and your significant other is like, yeah, no, not you're not gonna do that to my kids,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
and that's gonna happen, right?
yeah.
That's natural. That's gonna happen.
Definitely,
I think
definitely.
that discipline in our home is a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
We will have, if something gets out of hand or we feel like they kind of heading off the rails here, especially like when school let out, you got to have a sit down. All right, clearly, we got to talk turkey here, because we got to remind you what the summer barriers are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we got some. Let's talk about that. How far away from home can you go? Who
Okay.
can you be with? Can you be in someone else's car? Here's why you shouldn't be. We arm them with enough information to know why these rules are in place, how important the rules are to us, and then what's gonna happen if you decide to cross that gun line.
Yeah, I love that. Teaching people the why was a big thing for me too, right? And I think I remember growing up too. Like it was always like, I told you no. Why? Why can I not? Because I said so. Go over there. Don't ask me questions. And not for nothing. When I remember thinking about that later down the line, and you watch these kids who want to be adults so fast. I think that's what it was. That power and control. They're like, yo, I want to control my own life now. I can't wait to be an adult. And they're trying to be adult things and do adult things way too fast, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Not realizing that, not wanting those moments of not wanting to take that time out to give that child the why and the knowledge perpetuates them to think that, okay, it's just a power situation and I need to be like this as soon as possible to
Mhm.
now actually have my own life.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I
And then
definitely,
you're just a kid in a grown up body.
yep.
9 times out of 10, parents, like my parents are, oh, because I said so. Now looking back, I feel like they used the language they had.
Yeah.
They used what they knew, and were there some differences to their parenting? Hell yeah, my parents were parents in the '70s. Hell yeah, So there was some, but underneath all of that was the value system their parents gave them.
Mm.
And
Yep.
you know what? Speaking of that, actually, that goes to my next question is For you growing up with your parents, like what kind of values do you feel they instilled into you that you may pass on now with your kids?
I think my parents, the greatest thing they taught me is you'll have whatever you're gonna work for, and no matter what you do, you have to survive in order to do it. So you must embrace survival. You must embrace survival. You cannot ever rest on, oh well, they don't do right by us, or the system is effed up, and it could be, but the sun gonna rise tomorrow, and you
Mm,
got to meet the man. And so I learned to work hard. My dad worked very hard. Both my parents worked very hard, but my dad made sure that we understood he was the head of our home.
Hmm.
He had things needed to be a certain way, and you conform to that. So I learned early on there's infrastructure everywhere,
Yeah.
mm,
and my parents had an infrastructure. Did I agree with it? No, I thought they were awful people. But now I think, okay, I'm able to make a life for myself and my children, and I'm able to survive because these two people taught me how. And they were kids. They were kids raising me, figuring it out, along with the rest of my family. They were kids.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree, man. Like compared to how my parents raised me, and now for me, in my head, there was nothing wrong with my parents raising me. But you ask my friends and my wife, they gonna tell you that I'm traumatized. I don't know where, but whatever. They taught me a lot. I was forced to do a lot, but because I was forced to do so many things that me as a kid I thought was going to be boring or annoying, and I was never going to use it, those things have helped me today. Like I
Yeah.
can build things because my father used to force me to build stuff with him. I can fix cars because I always had to fix cars with him. Like people used to pay my dad come park in our driveway and fix the car. And my dad would call me outside. And I'm inside playing video games or whatever, or I'm laying down early in the morning, 7 o'clock. He's getting me up, like, come help me fix this car. And I'm not the only child. I'm the youngest kid. So I'm like, you can call my other brothers, Peter and Sadiq. You can call them. You can call Carl and Sadiq. You don't need me. Like, but he's like, nope, I need you. And those things as a kid you never appreciate it until you older and you like something happens to your car and you're like, oh, I did this before. Doo doo. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I can do that. I can take care of it. But that is one of the biggest differences for me that and I'm gonna ask you the same question as well. But one of the biggest differences for me that I have taken from how my parents raised me and changed it into something different is I tend to try to find things that will pique my daughter's interest and push her to do it. Like Taekwondo, it piqued her interest before she realized it was kind of hard, and then she tried to like wean off. Like, no, you liked it before, so we're gonna keep you doing it.
Mhm.
So it's just keeping her interested. You gotta kind of Kenny. You know how that's
Yeah.
my daughter's Kenya's goddaughter family.
Yep.
So you gotta drag her, and
Yeah.
she's definitely one of those kids that if you give her an inch, she's gonna take a mile. Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's every kid.
Yeah.
If that's not the
No,
case,
no
you gotta
lie.
check out, because that's
I
every
mean,
kid.
there be certain kids that got certain levels though, but
yeah.
uh,
She
yeah,
gonna
the
take
guy,
full
our guy,
advantage.
good lord, oh man,
But for you, like, what is in your opinion? What is the biggest change that you made in the way that your parents raised you, and took the same thing but like switched it up to bring it to your kids?
Well, the biggest thing is there's no corporal punishment in my house.
Okay.
Again, my parents in the '70s.
yeah.
Yeah.
What they used back then? What was that? Belt
What
swatches?
was available?
Yeah.
Okay,
Anything they could grab.
got it. Got
I think the biggest difference I'll say is, minus that fear, like Kenyon spoke about, minus the fear of corporal punishment. I believe I've allowed my parenting style to be able to hear them. I don't gotta agree with you. In the end, it's gonna be the way it's gonna be because we're the parents. But I listen to who they are and how they see things. And again, that doesn't mean we're gonna do it their way. Odds are we're not. but I'm also now aware of their thought process so that I can help them gain perspective from a position that isn't theirs. Because I firmly believe today's children are some of the most selfish individuals I've ever met.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I think it is because of the multitude of devices and the multitude of access they have to see other people, but
Yeah.
not to engage with other people. So I think that's one of the major differences that today's parent has to consider,
Yeah.
that today's kid is isolated. 90%
Mhm.
of their time is spent in front of a device. And I don't care how many boxes you fit on the window for Zoom or whatever you're using, that is still, you're still by yourself doing
Mhm.
Yeah.
it. And I think that it allows children to have a very narrow view of the world, just their own. And my parents talked to me and my brother a lot, like, a lot. My mom, God rest her soul, was one of the smartest people, if not the smartest people a person I've ever met. Like, she thought things that you're like, why are you thinking that? Like, who the hell thinks that? And then now these things are here and they're in place, and I'm like, wow, that woman was brilliant,
Mm.
and she really was. She was a very smart person, and she told me everything, everything, and she never sugarcoated a thing. There were times that even as a kid, I would be like, that's kind of inappropriate. I don't think you're supposed to say it like that. And she'd be like, whatever, you need to know, and you need to know now, because tomorrow's not promised. And
Mhm.
I think that we approach parenting that honestly with our children. That's not to say that we're sitting here saying like, oh, let me tell you what I did when I was a kid. No, because I don't really have a whole lot of those conversations, because I don't see any value in that either. So
Yeah.
what if I did it? If I said you can't do it, you can't do it in here.
Yeah.
When you get up out of here, do whatever you want. But
Mhm.
I think that that's the biggest difference. That, like, I listen to my kids. Like I said, my parents were young, and truth be told, I was very young with my first child. So I'm pretty sure that if you were to talk to her, she got not completely different, but a vastly different upbringing to my second two children, because there's 19 years between my oldest child and my middle and my son. So
Wow.
Mhm.
I was a different person.
Definitely.
I was a kid, and a kid with a kid trying to figure out, how do I meet the man tomorrow? How do I survive tomorrow? So I know the mother I was to that person is not the same mother that these two people got. And I'm pretty sure even these two people would say, they're almost 3 years apart, that they got a different version of me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest difference, that I allow myself to listen to them, to who they are, and then I kind of pay attention to who I am now. And I, more than anything, I don't care, how it goes in your friend house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Yep.
don't care.
Oh yeah.
I don't care about that. Like, I don't care that your friend can have whatever they want and they don't have to get a job. Here, the word of the day, Craig, is job.
Mhm.
Hmm?
JOB.
Uh-huh.
Because tomorrow, when you got to get out there, Mr. Charlie, he waiting for his bill. Bills come. Hell, we had a goddamn pandemic and the bills ain't stopped.
Yep.
Oh.
You go outside, jump, pay these bills online.
Mhm.
Pay these bills. So that's the biggest thing. Like, I take the values that I got from my parents. Like, they didn't hide things. Like, if we were struggling, I think that's a big difference from today. When
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
was coming up, everybody was struggling. Everybody.
Yeah.
So, was there shame? Sure, but not to the degree that there is now. Like, it wasn't like you knew a family that, they had a car and they had anything and everything they wanted. Their refrigerator was always full. Their lights never got cut off. Their phone never got cut off. Like, no, that was everybody's plight. Like, don't call my house because my mother ain't paid the phone bill. It's awful. That was normal.
That's right.
That
Chill,
was
man. I ran out
normal.
of minutes. Chill, bro.
Yeah, right. Don't be cool. Don't call before 7. I don't have night minutes.
Come on.
That was normal.
You
Mhm.
know?
We knew a struggle. We knew a hard time.
Yeah.
Today's children firmly believe that whatever they want, you're supposed to make that happen.
Yep.
Yep.
They have no idea how much money their parents make. They have no idea how much, has to expenses have to go out. They just feel like, I saw this on Nickelodeon or Netflix or whatever,
Yep.
and her parents bought her a car for graduation, and
Yep.
she going to college.
Hmm.
Okay, that's great, but we don't
Mhm.
got that.
Yeah.
And so, we keep it real. My parents kept it real with us. We keep it real with our children about things like that, money,
Right.
especially, and politics. Like, a lot of people, oh, I don't talk politics. Then why? No, your kids need to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
if not, they can't be an active participant. So they know, like, I'm not getting ready to pick your political party. You go behind that curtain and do what you do, but you will go behind that curtain
Yeah.
Yep.
because too many people gave so that you can go behind that curtain. You will, and here's why. And we do a lot of that kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
I like that too because like for me, for my instance, when I was a kid, like my mom was someone who was a very, very strong. Like no matter how hard it was, she'll sit down there, she'll take like a couple minutes, smoke that cigarette, and then it's like, all right, it's time to meet that. Got to make this happen, and she'd go out, she'd just do it, and you wouldn't see her spend no time on, oh man, this sucks or this is bad or complaining. It was like, nah, I got to do, and we was doing it. We was figuring out how to do it. And my father, even though she had that, she wasn't good at communication though. So it was like trying to have her to, hey, why you do this? Don't worry about that. Just sit over there. Go over there. I ain't got time for that. You know.
Mm.
But then my father was different. My father, you sit there and he tell you the why. He'll communicate with you. He'll take the time with you. He had the patience. You know what I mean? And I think as I grew up, those are the two biggest things that I took. So when I'm going through a hard time, nobody ever knows it. And not because I'm trying to hide it, but because I don't have time to complain about it.
Right.
My
That's
only time I need to do is how am I getting this out the way so I can go on my day and make it a little easier to be this parent,
hmm
right? When I was working and I'm working so many hours, and my daughter's like, I would choose that we be broke to be with you longer. And I sit there and I say, all right, let's really have this conversation. And we sit down and I open up a spreadsheet and I say, okay, this is how much rent is. This is how much light bill is. This is how much Netflix is. This is how much this subscription is. This is how much it costs to bring you here. This is how much it costs to do here. Remember we went here this weekend and I spent X amount of money? Yeah, that was all that extra money that I made. And then she sat there and she was like, oh my God, that's so much money. That's so much money, Daddy. And I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, Kaylin.
I wish I could keep it. It goes. So next time daddy is working and I tell you I'm working late, you understand it's to get a little extra money so we can have a little extra to do something. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the reality of it. And ever since then, I have more of a conversation where I can just tell her and she understands why. And that's done. There's no crying about it. There's no wishing. Because I realized that when I was a kid and I didn't get explained something, I made up my own thought and it was wrong. And it was usually like a self sabotaging reason we would think on why, like, oh, they just don't want to spend time with me, right? Maybe I'm annoying. Maybe and it's like when that starts turning, there's a whole resentment that you got to out of reprogram later, so get them while they're young. Don't be afraid to open up and tell them what adults really go through. Because some of them need to second guess if they want this life right now. Okay.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Yeah, for
All
real.
right.
I,
Real
I,
talk. And you
I
right.
agree 100%. What I did, finances is a very important lesson that I wish I would have learned at a younger age. So what I did is I made a system. Uh, Family, y'all can take this, do what y'all want with it. I made a system with my daughter. I went on Amazon, bought some fake money,
Okay.
and she gets chores in the house. She has a chore list, and on that list, she has a certain amount of chores to do. It's 7 chores that are supposed to be done throughout the day. Little things, little tips that like I pay her more for things that I know are more difficult for her. Like, yeah, she'll wash her clothes, but folding them and putting them away is like a thing, right? So the fake money has each chore has a value placed next to it, which the fake money is paid every week. She gets paid every week, fake money. Now, every 2 weeks, when I get paid, she has the option to change that money into real money. At people don't like this, but y'all not in my wallet. So at 50% of the cut. So if she got $20, she gonna exchange that $20, get 10. Right. So
Sound
what
like
that did, huh?
we somewhere in?
Yeah, might have been a see what I'm saying? People in my wallet might have been, right? So so she will be able to exchange that money, and with that money, she can buy whatever she wants. So what that did is I put a note in it that unless you need it, like it's something that mom and I feel like you need, like something for school or something like that, don't ask me for money. If you ain't do your chores and you didn't get paid, you don't have money. So when she comes to me and she's like, "Oh, daddy, can I go to the movies with your friends?"
You got money?
How you gonna pay for it? You got your money? Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. But it came down that she felt the chores were too hard. Whatever. It's simple stuff. Literally, pack the dishwasher, unpack the dishwasher, set the table, things like that. And I was like, all right, cool. So now I'm gonna show you what it feels like to be a little bit more of an adult. I pay your phone bill. So $60 of your money every month is going to your phone bill. If you don't pay that $60, your phone's getting cut off like my phone get cut off. There you go. So now she makes sure she does what she has to do, has her money. The regular price, if she did her chores every single day, back to back, plus the additional things, she could make like $300 a month, right?
Yo, move me
And then
in.
I'm
Need a
telling her,
side.
yeah, right? And I'm telling her like, yo, you can do it. And she's like, I can really make that much, yeah. But you being lazy, you're not doing it. But it's not on me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? This is you.
That's a choice.
It's now is your choice. Like that. That's what grown ups do. They gonna leave you alone, let you do what you want to do, and the consequences come whenever they come.
Hmm.
yeah,
That's a lesson more people need to teach their kids. Like I said, today's kid feels like whatever they want, however they feel, not only should it be validated, it should be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to
hmm
say, I want my feelings validated. Okay, that's, yes, you're entitled to your feelings. I appreciate that. But I want them accepted. Like, oh, the chores are too hard. Hard is relative. And
Yeah.
I'm not very,
Yeah. So.
You
it's
know,
not very
that's so funny because I still live and remember this saying BC told me very, very when we first kind of like really, really met and worked together.
Mm-hmm.
She used to tell me, listen, it's only hard till it ain't.
That's right.
And it was a simple thing, but when I actually started to work at something that I wasn't good at, I think it was billing. And then
Mm-hmm.
I started doing it and doing it and doing it. And then it was clicking in my mind. It was clicking in my mind. And it was like the parts I was slow at was no longer slow. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that it stressed me out that I had to do it and it was a long process, I was knocking it out like that. And it's a true concept. The
That's
more
right.
you do it, the faster you challenge yourself to do it faster, but still being efficient. It's a breeze. It's not even a problem anymore. You forget that it was a problem.
Yeah.
You know, it still stays true. So thank you for that.
It's only hard till it ain't. And I think we beat ourselves up too much, and then you make it hard and heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's human, right? That's human to do that. But you, you'll have way more good experiences the sooner you realize, all right, I hate doing this. This sucks. But the more I do it, the easier it gets to do because the brain is a giant muscle that is remembering all of this. All right,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be hard anymore. But if you just dwell on, oh, this sucks. All right,
Yep.
That's
you
it.
still got to do it.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Basically.
Yep.
That's right.
do it happy or do it sad, but do it.
Do it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, we have a chaos letter that was written in, but before I read that real quick, I just wanted to ask y'all a question. How long? I read an article like 2 days
Okay.
ago.
All right.
What's the average amount of time that y'all think parents are spending with their kids nowadays?
Week, month, give us how much a
Just
day
whatever. The average amount of time in a day. Let's say in a day.
in a
In a
day
day.
with their kids,
Yep.
less than an hour.
All right. Yeah. I was about to go.
Go ahead. What's up, okay?
All right, nah, I'm gonna go with two. I'll go
Two
with two.
hours.
I'll go
All
one
right.
more hour.
All right. Cool.
I got
30
less.
minutes.
Yeah, so less than an hour.
30
And
Yeah.
minutes a day.
you
30
know,
minutes a day.
I resist the urge to be ultra critical, seriously, because
Mm-hmm.
I do remember, when both my parents had to work and being a latchkey kid, letting myself in. There wasn't no cell phone. Like all your parents had was Jesus, because
Mm-hmm.
they didn't know if you needed it. Like seriously, like all your parents had was Jesus and good old prayer, because you walked home from school essentially by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have no mode of communication for your parents. So I try not to be ultra critical of today's parents because the world is still incredibly busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People are working multiple jobs.
Yeah.
They enroll their kids in activities because they don't want their kid to have like the suckiest of life, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time they have to work harder to pay for those activities. So do I think that people should figure out a way to spend more time with their kids? Yes. Do I think that for lots of people, most people, it's unrealistic to break it down by day? It's kind of unfair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now, if you told me however many hours there were in a week, and however many hours of that is free time, and people are still only spending 30 minutes with their kid, then I'll be like, okay, y'all some sorry parents. But like seriously, y'all can't like stay up late and watch a movie or just just kick it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
day to day, like when you think like I know someone who has two small school age children, and they get up crack of dawn. They got to feed those kids. They got to dress those kids. They got to get themselves ready for work too. These are all stressors. The
Mm-hmm.
stressors on their way of life.
Yeah.
They got to clean the kitchen before they leave the house. Make sure the kids got everything. It's just stressor. You come home from work, it's the same thing.
Yep.
Did
Yeah.
you do your homework? Did you clean your room? You got your clothes out for tomorrow? It's just a running task list happening.
Yeah.
So that should that be like, oh well, that's a great excuse for not spending time with your kids? No, it's not an excuse. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fact. That means that okay, if Monday through Friday is 30 minutes, what is it Saturday and Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Where
Yep.
you have the time, whatever your 2 days are, what are you doing with that time? And if you're not figuring out how to make that time as meaningful as your life can withstand,
Mm-hmm.
not what they tell you on social media, or you a messed up parent if you can't do this, that, or the other thing. Don't
Yep.
listen to those people. They're stupid.
Yeah. Yep.
Run your game. Run your game.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Deal with your situation and what can we carve out of this life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people would need to realize that those people that are giving that advice on social media are people that work from home. Like they,
If they work.
yeah, if they
They
even
work.
that's true.
If they
Like is
work.
they're not the regular people that take like 1 hour just to get to work, and then they work that time and take an hour to get back home. So really, you out of the house 10 hours of the day.
Right.
Yep.
So now
You know?
there's 14 hours left. You were supposed to sleep 8 of them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I gotta get all those tasks still have to get done.
Yep.
Hmm.
And the whole time, every time, I know for me as a parent, every time you are not with your children, your thoughts are right there.
Yep.
What are they okay? Are they okay? Are they okay? Whether you're saying that out loud or not,
Hmm.
are they okay? And if they're small children and they get too quiet, what do they do?
Oh,
Yep.
what man? Real
How
quick.
much Vaseline and powder is somewhere?
Like, why
You
is
gotta
so
make
quiet
those
in the
numbers.
house?
That's
So
fine.
let's get to the we gonna get to the chaos letter.
All right. Let's get it.
What's up, guys? Excuse me. Sorry. What's up, guys? I have two kids. This is a female. She didn't put her name or anything, but BC is directed to you. They was looking forward to you. So, what's up, guys? BC, welcome to the show. I have two kids with a very big age gap. My daughter is 13 and my son is 1. I struggle with ideas on how to get them both involved with activities. Obviously, he's 1, but whatever. How can I keep them both entertained and engaged? Any ideas? P.S. I'm not too crazy about nature, but I'm willing to try. Oh.
Well,
Hmm.
as
Right.
somebody with a larger gap than that, when I had my son, my daughter was 19. And so now I was 19 and a newborn. I would say activity wise, there's nothing that I can think of other than spending time together outside, or making a movie night, and
Hmm.
make it special, go all out, like go on Etsy, find those tents or something, do something within the scope of your life that the three of you could enjoy. The 1-year-old may fall asleep during the movie, so
Mm.
what? The three of you are still together. That it's got to be about that. It could be jump up in the bed. You get one night a month that where you all can jump up in mommy's bed and we watch the movie here, and we have popcorn. But do whatever it takes that the three of you can be together. It's not so much about, oh well, let's go bicycle riding. Well, the 1 year old can't ride. Like it's not so much to me about the activity, and it's more about the time spent. And above all, talk to the 13-year-old constantly, constantly. Pepper
Yeah.
them with questions that are not yes, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on? What do you
Yeah.
think about this has happened? What you think? Get them talking, because 13 is a very, very, very critical age.
Mm.
Very critical age. Things are happening to them physically that no one's bothered to say, hey, you can expect this. And I got to deal with it. And there's, if you had a female child in that age, there's some shame in there that you have to help work them away from. You're not doing it, I hope, as a parent, but society is. Now
Mm-hmm.
they're becoming aware of themselves. So, activity, think about spending time.
Mm.
That could be, we used to have breakfast together every Sunday.
Mm.
I mean, my
Nice.
kids are older now, so they kind of go do their own thing. But when
Yeah.
they was elementary, every Sunday we got up, we ate at the table together.
Mm.
Every Sunday, without fail. If you had something to do with your friends, it better happen after breakfast, because that was our thing.
Yeah.
You have to make moments,
Yeah.
and it's not about, like, can I get them in ballet and tap and this and that and the other thing and karate, and those things are great, but you're not with them.
Yeah. Nah,
So
I
just
agree.
do things that you can do with them.
yeah.
I pride myself. All three of my children knew how to read very, very young, and
Mm.
I had read something years, like, before I even had my first child. I had read something that had said that newborns and just children who are read to regularly have an increased vocabulary, and they're better critical thinkers,
Hmm.
because they've been read imaginative stories, so
Yeah.
they are able to create in their minds much easier than children who don't necessarily have someone reading to them or being encouraged to read. you know
Yeah.
I would encourage, that's always a great activity.
I
Read.
love it.
Okay. Good. Hmm.
Nah, yeah. Listen, and just to piggyback off that, I mean, even like she said, like I'm super big on making memories, right? So it's
Oh,
like,
I know.
oh yeah, you know,
My man Kenny in the willing to go broke to make a
Right.
memory. He be
He
like,
sure
what?
will.
He be like, what? I
I,
got I
you
got
ask him
19.
when he
I
tells
blame Drake, man. When he hit that YOLO, man, I just couldn't stop hitting the button, man. You
Yeah,
know what I
Kenny.
mean?
Kenny look at his bank account, be like, all right, $2,000. All right, this trip costs 1,999. I can make it. Let's do it. Like what?
Good. You know what I mean? We're about that later. Like you said, got to meet the man anyways, right? I'll be ready. Just cut everything, you know.
Hmm.
we're gonna have fruit cocktail for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's gonna be great.
Woo!
That's right.
Pop open that cereal. Oh, no milk. Eat the marshmallows. Wait until
Can I get a fish plate?
payday.
That's right.
Nah, but nah, on the real, like she said, movie nights are great. Any kind of activities, like we pop up some coloring books. We'll pull that out. We'll do some coloring, some word puzzles. We'll just draw random pictures. Like I used to do carnivals in my apartment. So like I'll go get the little fun games and we'll run around the room. I'll get the fake money and change from Amazon, and like she'll have to like pay for like tickets and stuff like that just to get an idea of money. And then we'll play the games and we'll have a bunch of random toys that she already has. So it'll just be, oh, here's your prize, and we'll set the prizes up of home toys. And yo, man, we just have a great time. You can do that in your apartment. Just spend a little money. Listen, you got memories and you got more times you can do it. All right, that's not gonna keep breaking this bank. So yes,
And that's
That's
what
right.
kids remember. You can take them to Disneyland. You can take them to you can take them to Universal. You can take them to, and that's wonderful.
yeah,
But I guarantee you, when they get past like 12, 13, and you ask them about memories, it's never gonna be that stuff. It's gonna be like, I remember that time we was walking past Yankee Stadium and you tripped. And
Hmm.
you're like, remember that? But it's not that. It's that day. It's
yeah,
that time. It's that energy that was happening between the two. Man, turn on YouTube, put a playlist on, and you'll rock out.
Hmm.
yeah,
Have dance contest, play musical chairs, like just whatever. Be safe for them. A safe, fun place. Like
Yeah.
One thing I remember, I used to have a friend. Her mother used to always say, I don't play, and I used to be like, man, that stinks. Like, my parents played with us,
Yeah.
but this lady was busy. She had a couple of jobs and she didn't play. You know,
Mm,
that's like a big difference for me now. Like, no, I want to play. I want to have fun. I want to, I want to make memories.
Yeah.
mm, that's true. That's
For
good, man.
sure.
So I got another little question for you. If there are three things that you wanted to instill in your kids, what would they be?
Uh,
Like the whole motherhood thing, everything that you've done. Just
Everything,
three things that you want to make sure that they have.
honesty
Okay.
within themselves, independence,
Yes.
and free thinking. Free
Hmm.
thinking above all. Free thinking. Think for yourself. Think for yourself. Good God, if you can't think for yourself, the world's a dangerous place,
Yeah.
and you're gonna get hurt, and you're gonna get hurt because there are people in this world who live to find people who they can harm and they can hurt, and be honest with yourself, be direct, and free your mind. Free thinking, use your brain all the time, because the minute you rely on someone else, you in harm's way.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. And just to further that, I mean, when you hear someone, you ask a person's opinion and they quote a social media video that they were first before even actually get into a real opinion. They only told you about that video. Like, you like, oh man, let's go over here. Oh man, I saw TikTok yesterday, man. It's dangerous over there, man. I don't know if I want to go.
hmm.
Yeah, no. You need to change up your life. That's not even your own thought.
Free
Someone
your thinking.
it's
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
real
somebody influenced you to do that, man. Peer pressure is a real thing that all
Hell
kids
yeah.
deal with, and like my
And
daughter's
it,
amazed that can't nobody tell me to do nothing. Like what? Like yeah, Ian, let's go here for what?
man, I don't wanna.
I don't want to
hmm
go. I'm tired. I'm
Yeah.
like like
Yeah.
oh Ian, you whack. You so old. Yeah, but yeah, I'll be whacking old in my bed. I'm good.
Right.
Chilling.
I'll
Straight
see how.
chilling.
Let me know how it went.
Right.
Okay. You see this pocket though?
Yeah.
Still fat though. All right. You the one spending.
And that's
All
where
right.
you want them to be honest with themselves first. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to. That's not
Yeah.
my thing. I ain't
Mm,
interested. And feel good with that. Like, all right,
Yeah.
yeah, oh well, you whack. I'm that too. But I'm not going. I'm not taking that, or I'm not. Teach them to be honest with themselves. Like, do you really not like that girl, or is it that your friend don't like her?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How you got how you got backpack beef?
Yeah.
We
You
both.
got Puma. I got Nike. What's up with that?
That's it. Like that's it. Be honest with yourself. Be direct. And use your mind, because you do that. No, ain't nobody getting ready to sell you no bill of goods.
That's
Because
Mm,
right.
you're gonna think your way through that. If it sounds foolish, it is foolish. Like, I don't want to get your show in trouble, so I'll use the pseudonym. We had a certain actor who told a story about being jumped in Chicago by
yeah.
two people with red hats, and
Mm.
the soon
You,
as the reporter put the period on that thing, I looked at my husband. I said, "That's a goddamn lie." That's a goddamn lie. He was like, "What you mean you don't know?" I said, "Look, that man said it was negative 20 degrees. Ain't nobody at 2 o'clock in the morning standing outside with bleach. First of all, bleach was cold, so it's hot. How come the bleach ain't freeze? And on the potential of catching somebody in negative 23 degrees. I'm telling you, the reporter was like, and on to you. That's a goddamn lie. It does not happen. And
Mhm.
that's where you have to teach your kids to think. Because just because you saw that on the news don't make it so.
yeah.
That's right.
Use your brain
That's
Mm.
right. Don't be a
to
juicy
randomly
smoothie.
news.
Okay. We don't support it. And that's funny. So then, all right. So I have another question for you. Then
Uh-huh.
is I would say, would you? All right. So is there anything that you feel like your kids may have taught you as a parent, like as you were? What are some things?
More than anything else, how much I was capable of. Like I don't like. I won't say I don't ever worry. Of course I do, but
Yeah.
I don't know that a space in me that I can't survive through, and I
Mm.
attribute that to my kids because there is no greater responsibility than the life you created. There is no greater responsibility. I could, solve hunger, and that still wouldn't be more important to me than what I've imparted in those people.
Yeah.
And knowing, they taught me that I could be me, and that I could be the best me, or the whatever me I wanted to be, and that was
Yes.
okay because I made these beautiful people, and like people say, oh, give back to society. Well, I put three out there, and they ain't robbing y'all, and they ain't, they're not bad people. They contributing to society.
Mm-hmm.
Is there more I can do? Absolutely, but I did that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I did
That's
that.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
That
And
is.
from all that which you said when you answered, and I thought about everything that I, at least from what I know from our conversations, what you've been involved in, right? Like I know you've been involved with, yeah, I believe it was a football camp, right, where you taught kids.
Yeah, we used to coach rec football here in our town. While my son played, my husband and I coached the team. Um, shoot, if it's something that's going to benefit these kids, I'm for it. I'm vice president of our school board here.
Nice.
And you have to run for that. And anybody will tell you, "Oh, campaigning ain't nothing," they a lie. It's every step of the way, you're like, yo, why am I doing this? Like, and it's not like most other elected officials get paid something. We don't get paid anything. We're
Mm.
literally volunteering our time. But
Wow.
it's for the kids. And if I'm not going to do it, if not me, then who? Like, how can I expect somebody else to give themselves that way if I'm not willing to do that?
Great.
Rec football we got involved in here. Shoot, in the beginning, my son was playing football in Brooklyn. So I would have
Hmm.
to come to New Jersey to get him to drive back to Brooklyn so he could have practice, and come back home. And
Wow.
it was that important to us that he see that through. So that was an expense and a test on us, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. There's a lot of sacrifices that parents make for their kids, and you gotta
Yeah.
wait until you gotta. And it's crazy because you gotta wait until they grow up for them to be like, "Oh yeah, ma, thank you." Like, yo,
That is golden. Wait till you become a parent, you'll understand.
yeah,
I
word, man.
listen. I swear I didn't understand my parents till I became one. That's all it took. I couldn't
Hmm.
believe how much I actually understood how hard it is, how much you want to tell them, just go over there, stop asking me these questions. I don't want to
Yeah,
answer nothing right now. I'm in an interview.
But
You
you
thought
have to
so?
you gotta forgive yourself for that, and you've got to also allow yourself that space, right? Like my
Yeah.
youngest daughter, she's like one of the coolest people I know. She's one of the best human beings I've ever met, and
hmm
Oh,
there are times where she just wants to talk. She wants to tell me about sophomore whatever, and I don't have it right then. And I will say, I'm going to need about this much time because that's not where I'm at. And I don't want to tell you to be quiet. And I don't want to you to death.
hmm
So I'm going to need about this much time. You good with that? Yes. Okay. But then I have to commit to, okay, now I got to come back. And I got to say, okay, what do you want to tell me about?
hmm
You
yeah.
have, as a parent, you have the right to be like, all right, now. Like we ain't gonna just talk my whole head off. Like,
hmm
now we need to take a commercial break. Now
Word. That's right.
The food advertisement in the kitchen, please.
hmm
All
hmm
right. Get
I
this dinner
agree.
stuff.
that's what y'all need. Y'all gotta get people to pay for commercial break.
Oh yeah,
I
we
agree.
got yeah,
You
definitely.
gotta, yeah, when y'all come up with that model, let us know, and we'll
Okay.
certainly make sure we buy a spot. You do a drop, for people business.
I appreciate it.
A
Definitely.
1000%.
Yeah. Hell yeah. What? Psh, we got sponsors, boy. Nah.
Listen,
Nah.
I'm ready.
Think about it. You come up with the right price point. It's not difficult, right?
hmm
Okay, so and so braid hair. You're gonna cut into your show and talk about her braiding hair and where folks can find them.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's true.
we're gonna talk about that off camera. Ain't nobody getting this
Yeah,
game
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Okay,
Mind
they're
your
gonna,
business.
they're
Mind your
gonna have to
business.
subscribe to the free training course.
Okay, you know, I got
And
IT
then
days.
you know,
You know, you know,
yeah, I know exactly what
I
being
got
in your head. You're
airplane
not
seats.
allowed. We're not gonna do that. All right. You got people looking up your email address. Wait, she says she's a what of school? Hold on, let me Google.
That's right. Which school was that again? No, no, no. That's not. That's privileged information.
Let's talk
Classified.
about this
I
investment
absolutely,
here.
and you need to do that with your kids too, right? Like let's keep it real. Everything is monetized now, right? Like
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
everything is monetized, and I'm not saying that I want to promote that for our kids. I'm saying that if that's the vein you're thinking in, let's make sure that you're able to get everything out of that you can.
That's right.
Definitely.
That's it. You know what I mean? If you're gonna spend all your time doing this, how do you make that work for you? Because if it's
Yeah.
not, then you're truly wasting your time.
Yep.
Yes.
That's true.
Not
That's true.
lying.
So we got one last question for you. Then we
Yeah.
gonna end it right there.
All right.
Because you've been giving us a lot of advice, and I appreciate it. And I know the family definitely appreciates it.
So,
But for those families out there, if you had one piece of advice that you wish somebody else would have gave you, and you want to give it to them right now, what would that be?
Forgive yourself for whatever it is you're blaming yourself for not being good enough for. You are enough. You are enough. You know, every day it ain't raining and every day it ain't sunny. You are enough. Forgive yourself. Stop beating yourself up for what you could not do. And slap yourself on the back for the things you could do. Did they eat today? Maybe you can't buy those sneakers, but they ate. And the
Mm,
lights are on and the cable is working and every other part of their life is okay. Forgive yourself. I wish someone had told me that. I had spent, and for mothers, not to single it out, I don't wake up a father, so I don't know how it is for
mm,
fathers. I can only speak for mothers. For
yeah.
mothers, I will say the world heaps a buttload of shame on you.
mm,
And responsibility. Oh, who raised him? How
mm.
his mother, all that, that's a lot of additional pressure,
Yeah.
so forgive yourself if you are doing the best you can and you are enough.
Amen. Yeah,
Yeah. Amen.
that's it. I
I
don't even
dropped it.
I don't even know if I should even do the outro. Yeah, I just press the end button, boop, and just end it
All right.
right.
Listen, I'm
Family,
drop you busy, but I can't. I can't afford the new one, so I'm gonna leave. But I'm doing
yeah.
it. What you say? Go ahead,
No, that was it. I was gonna end it and do the outro. Go ahead, bro.
man. Yeah, man. Hit it then.
All
Let's get
right,
it.
cool. Family,
Mm-hmm.
BC, thank you for being here. We love y'all. We love you, especially.
Especially.
762-253-0813. Reach out to us if you got any questions for BC. Post them in the comments below. So like, subscribe if you want to. I know you want to, but it's okay if you don't want to. But
I said
oh, you did? Oh, pfft. What? She was like one of our first subscribers. But anyway, family, we love y'all. BX Dynasty 718 at gmail.com. Ian and Kenyon, Love and Chaos. Peace.
Peace.
All right, good.